Yay, it is live. All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. My name is Pania, and I will be your host tonight, along with my amazing business partners, as you guys can see. Small introduction, I am a mom of two and a wife. I do work full time in the medical field and a proud online business owner of almost 3 years in June. My take on why I started this online business journey was because I wanted change. I wanted more time with my kids. I wanted to travel without permission. And this business has given me more benefits than I could ever ask for. Also, tonight we do have a special guest. Her name is Lily. And so, yeah, Lily, definitely introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you for inviting me to your page. It's an honor to be here this evening. And so, my name's Lily Cha. I am a mother, a wife. I have 5 children. I'm also a grandma. And, and I work full time in the healthcare and in finance. And I also running a side hustle online business from the comfort of my home. And like Banya just mentioned, the reason why I joined this online business is because I want more time for my family as I have missed all my elder kids' milestones. So I want to, something that can be flexible. I can balance between my family and my work and, the whole thing. And so, and back to you.
Yeah, and who is next? Tina?
Hi, everyone. Good evening, and thank you, Lily, for joining us. My name is Tina. I am a teacher for over 20 something years. I'm a mom of four, and I'm also a digital business owner. And the reason why I started was, like Lily had mentioned too, I missed a lot of my kids' milestones because when I was teaching, they were having their first day of school. So I always felt like, oh my gosh, I'm here's, with my students, but I'm missing out on taking the pictures and, giving them hugs and looking at at the window, at my kid. And so I missed all of that with my children. And one of the big reasons why I'm doing this now is to really be able to provide and create more experiences with my kids to kind of make up for all of that. So I'm glad to be here with all you ladies tonight.
All right, who's next? Coach, you want to go next?
Sure, I can go next. Hello, everyone. Ornyajong Shadao. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. And thank you, Lily, for joining us. And I'm super excited to have you share with us on this platform. And for all of you who don't know who I am, my name is Tay, and my name is hard to say, but if you really listen, it's just Tay. Okay, so. I have been doing this business for quite a long time. I love it, and I want to share this blessing with all of you who are watching. And like all of these ladies on this amazing panel here, powerhouses, I am also a mom, and I am also a wife and a digital business owner and a digital business coach and mentor. So I love what I do. And when they say when you love what you don't work a day in your life. So we hope to inspire any of you out there who's watching to see if this business is a fit for you. So super excited to be here, and thank you for all you ladies' time. Back to you, or Marissa, you're next.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever you are tuning in from. Thank you to Lily for joining us tonight as a special guest. Thank you to you ladies as well for showing up and um, also doing this live with me here. Um, just for those who don't know who I am, my name is Marissa. I am also working in the medical field as well as a billing specialist. I've been in that profession for up to 7 years, should be coming up 8 years in July. So I'm pretty excited on that. I love my job and I love what I do, but as above, like what the lady have mentioned, time is essential, and you can never get back time. So I wanted time to spend more time with my family, and also for myself as well. And I also want a more fulfilling lifestyle. So I hopped in on this business, and I've been in here for a little bit over a year. I'm learning a lot about myself, and I'm also a single person, but of course, I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and they did mention that auntie is just another name for mom, for second mom. So, I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and I'm so glad to, partner up with a lot of these mompreneur here. So I'm very excited for tonight's topic and what the ladies has to share. Thank you, and Pena, right back at you.
Thank you. So, before we, dive in tonight, because tonight's topic is all about embracing confidence and stop doubting on yourself. We all want to ask every one of you something like, have you ever held back from doing something simply because you didn't think you were like good enough? Maybe you didn't speak up in a meeting, or didn't apply for a job, or avoided trying something new because that little voice inside said, you can't. That voice is doubt, and it's something we all struggle with. But here's the truth. Self-doubt is pretty much one of like the biggest roadblocks to growth, success, and happiness. And it convinces us that, we're not capable even when we are. Today we're here to challenge that. Confidence is not about being perfect or knowing everything. It's about trusting yourself, your voice, your potential, and your ability to kind of just, figure things out, right? And choosing to show up even when you're unsure. And it's believing in like that progress over perfection. So tonight in this business talk, we're gonna explore what confidence really means, why so many of us doubt ourselves, and how can we like start breaking free from that mindset. So yeah, let's get inspired, and most importantly, let's start owning our worth. So does anyone want to start? What does confidence mean to you, and how did confidence help you within this online business journey? If not, then I can start too. Anyone? No?
Why don't we start with our guest of honor?
Sure. Lily, we can start with you.
Well, yes, there are times when I kept holding back, telling myself that, I'm not ready yet. Or, when you get a little too comfortable where you are, right? And so you keep holding back. Oh yeah, I'll do it. Or yeah, I will try. Or, what if I didn't do it good? What if I failed? Those negative thoughts, it's holding me back, and I know that in the old days where I want to try something new. I want to try home base where, I can spend more time with my kid. But, I just didn't have that confidence to get myself out there, push myself, motivate myself enough to, get out there and start to do it. So I keep holding myself back. The truth is that I was lacking ability. I was stuck in self-doubt for the longest time. And here's what I have learned is that confidence comes after the action, not before, right? The more I show up, the more I believe myself. And seeing others, they're just the same as you, like me. Everybody just like me, right? We all been there, but you just have to don't self-doubt yourself. You need to me, you just have to have more confidence in yourself and show up and take action. Take action. It's what really make you feel more confident, and just do it no matter what. Don't worry about who's going to say what, or what people think about. Just go ahead and do it. And that's how I do it. I just step in and then just do it, and then from there, things just slowly get better and better, and you see progress. And so yeah, so for those, if you're waiting for the perfect moment, stop, right? You need to start now. Don't wait. Yeah. So back to you.
I wanted to touch on what you said, Lily, about showing up, right? And just doing it, the action. I think that a lot of us fear that first step and the confidence, not having confidence, because the topic's about self-doubt, right? You're doubting yourself, and we are not born with confidence. Okay, confidence, it's a skill that's built over time. And I love that you touched on how taking that first step and just showing up and just doing it, right? And a lot of us overthink, because you made a lot of good points on like what you were telling yourself, right? You were like negative talking to yourself, self-doubting yourself into negatively talking to yourself. And I don't know, I may be speaking for all of us here when I say that everybody overthinks about everything, right? And overthinking makes us play small. Like we don't take those calculated risks, and we fear taking risk, right? Because to us growing out, risk is something that's that's danger, right? But in business, it's about calculative risks, right? You're taking calculated risks to invest in your future. And when you start with that step, like how Lily mentioned, you don't have to have it all figured out, because I'm going to keep saying this because nobody has it all figured out. Okay, if you think you have it all figured out, perfect, share with us how you did it. Okay, because I still don't have it all figured out. Okay, and 5 years into this business, still working progress, still learning, open to learning. And confidence again makes us overthink and doubt our decisions. But if you take a step, like Lily said, you'll learn how to stop overthinking, and you'll learn how to make decisions on the go, right? Because in business, if you don't embrace confidence, you will lose out on those opportunities that could be that one thing that could change your life, change your future, change your tomorrow. Especially when I started, for a little experience, personal experience. So I started looking into something for myself, like this online business too. And quite honest, guys, you out there watching, if you felt unsure, unqualified, or is feeling unsure, unqualified, I'm sure most of us felt that. I surely did when I looked at this business. Is like, can I do this? Am I capable? Am I worthy? The most important thing is, am I worthy of success, right? Confidence gives you that power, empowers you to give yourself permission to say, yes, I am worthy of success. I am worthy of receiving the finer things in life too, right? So feeling unsure and scared is a normal thing. But my takeaway from this whole thing of like how you build confidence, Lily talked about how showing up, right? You show up, but confidence just doesn't show up like you wake up and it shows up, right? It doesn't do that. You have to build it, like Lily said, to take steps and do it when you're scared. You'll grow it by showing up for yourself over and over with consistency. That's what confidence looks like to me, right? But I don't know what it looks like to you. But starting something new, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have the perfect plan, the perfect skills. You don't have to have all the skills. You just have to make a choice. And you just have to stop letting fear lead the way and start leading the way and choosing the way for yourself. Because if you don't give yourself a chance, nobody's coming to rescue you. If you don't start building that confidence, nobody's going to give you that confidence. That one decision is what will change everything for you. Whether you choose to do it or whether you choose not to, if you choose to, then it will change for the better. But if you choose not to, you'll still stay stagnant and it would change for the worst, right? Because you're still going to be 6 months, a year, 5 years from now, still wondering what ifs, what could have, what if I had built confidence, right? Again, you do not wake up one day and you're full of confidence. You build it little by little every time you show up, and every time you do something new, and every time you keep going. And even when it's uncomfortable, you have to learn how to be uncomfortable, even when learn how to become comfortable, uncomfortable, if I said that correctly. So yeah, that's what confidence looks like to me. You have to do it every single day after day so that you can build that muscle. So So great question.
I want to add to that too, because I think of Mel Robbins, that 5 second, the 5 second rule, where, you want to do this thing or you're trying to get out of bed, but you're just like, oh, your mind tells you, oh, I'm just another 5 minutes. But if you count, you count backwards, right? Five, four, three, two, one, and you're out of there. And I think it's the same thing like when we go live. I know I was like, when I started, I was like, oh my gosh, it's pretty easy. I've gone live before, but because I haven't done it in a long time and because I wasn't doing it for this digital business, I was like, oh my God, why is this so hard? And then here I am just thinking of every reason not to do it. But like now it's just so easy because it's that, you know, it's like I tell my kids too, it takes you 5 seconds of courage, right? If you don't, you know, you don't ask that question, if you don't take that initiative, that moment is gone and it may not come back around, right? And I joke with my kids, what if it's like your future wife, and you don't want to talk to her because you're too scared, and then she's gone forever. So, I mean, I'm just trying to make it relatable for them, right? To really say, oh my gosh, like it just takes 5 seconds of courage. And I think even in this digital business, I know a lot of people have said to me, oh, I can't do what you do. I'm like, well, what am I do? You don't have to do it like I do it, but you do it the way you do it. And
Mhm.
it's taking one step at a time. You don't have to like, show up in the business knowing and doing everything. But it's like you take those steps and that builds that confidence. And so I think for me, it's a lot of like that courage and confidence is, correlated. Like if you don't have the courage to want a better life and to say, hey, I got to do something different, then you're not going to have that confidence and you're always going to doubt yourself and say, well, I can't do it the way they do it, or no, I'm just going to stay at my job and I don't want to try anything new. And so that's, I think, where people get that confirmation of doubt, where they're like, no, it's okay, I can't do it. And so it keeps reaffirming that they aren't able to do it, which is not the truth. Yeah. So
I just want to make a quick point, like when you were saying that how you were telling your kids that what if it's their future wife, right, or husband, and they didn't talk to them. Kind of like how when an opportunity knocks, right, and you don't like open the door for it. What if it never knocks again, right? You see things on social media platforms all the time, and you don't have the confidence to like reach out and check, or you don't have the confidence to say, well, do I have to do what you do, right? Instead of asking, you say, I can't do what you do. You're already self-doubting yourself, right? So I say this a lot to my team and most of you here. Confidence comes when you lean into your potential. And I always say, I see so much potential in you guys, right there. And there's so much potential waiting to come out that you just have to like let it out. But instead you're letting fear out instead, right? Not you guys, but I'm talking with people watching right now across the screen. You're letting fear out instead of your potential. And you will never know your full potential if you don't open that door to let it out. So I wanted to add that, like the fear of not talking to the girl or the boy that could potentially be the full potential.
I only said wife because I'm like, if it were my daughter, I'd be like, no, you can't talk to boys. So, even though if you have the courage, I'm like, I will not encourage that.
I have a girl, I have a boy only, so I don't know how that feels. Yeah, but I wanted to touch on that. Like they're more capable than they think, right?
Mhm.
So they just have to like let their potential come out and show the boy or the girl, okay, not your girl, but the other people's girls, okay, show them they have potential to talk, to the boy and be confident too, right? Because we're talking about confidence. Girls do
Yes.
have confidence just like boys have confidence too. So
Yes.
boys, we don't have to wait for boys to talk to us. We can talk to them. Just like girls propose to guys now, right? So girls, if you're listening, or boys, if you're listening out there, guys or girls, this business is not just for moms or for aunties, mommy aunties. Okay, it's for everybody. It's for dads, and it's for daddy uncles. That did not sound right, but
For the whole families.
so it's for everybody who is open to learning and who wants more, right? Who wants to let out the full potential and have a purpose. And so when you really do it, then you won't even know what fear is anymore once you cross that line over, because there's nothing there. So just wanted to add on to your funny story.
Did you want to add anything, Marissa?
Yeah, I want to go ahead and also backtrack a little bit of what Tay have mentioned, about overthinking. As like an overthinker myself, I think it comes down to not just fear in general, but when you're like an overthinker, you come up with little scenarios in your head, and you played it so much in your head that you're stuck in these little scenarios, like of validations of what would people say about me, what if I take this step and it doesn't work. It's just like you're overthinking it, and so
Mhm.
you eventually, it's not really much like what I will consider fear, but I think it just, you essentially just kind of settle down to giving out because you're overthinking the situation too much. And I think a lot of time it comes down to where confidence is just not, something that makes you feel good, but it's a part of motivation. And I think what Lily have mentioned, taking that first step and actually coming out of that comfort zone and challenging yourself, and like what Tay have mentioned, there's so much potential hidden within someone
Mhm.
that when you don't tap into that potential, you're just gonna stay where you are at, and you're not gonna realize the potential that's hidden inside until you actually tap into it, and you will really like be amazed of yourself that, hey, I have all of these hidden talents or and skills and techniques that I can tap into, but I was so afraid of using them because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't have faith in myself, or I didn't have faith that I can succeed. And like what Say have mentioned, when you don't see yourself worthy of success, you fall back, and you take a step back, and you kind of just doubt yourself and telling yourself that I'm not worthy, so I'm not going to be even trying, right?
Mhm.
But when you actually take that initiative step, even if you don't have all the answers there ready for you, but once you challenge yourself and you go into it, you're going to start eventually seeing yourself growing and learning. Because when I first joined into this business, I didn't know how to navigate myself in this business. I don't have any clue of how to run an online business, right? Or even talk on live or have great public speeches, but I'm actually an introvert myself. I'm actually pretty shy, pretty timid, not someone to be on cameras or talking to a big crowd. But when you start challenging yourself, when you're coming out of that comfort zone, eventually you start to learn these skills along the way, and you just get very comfortable with it, where eventually you don't even think about it, and you're just gonna reflect back and be like, why was I so afraid of doing that? It's so simple as like, like the snap of a finger, right? It's so quick, but I was so afraid that I didn't want to touch into that potential, that I hold on to it for so long. So I think um you know I always I love what Lily had mentioned earlier, that there's really no perfect time, and I always mention this so many times, that there really is no perfect time. the perfect time to, take the right step is now. If you start taking the steps now, that's the perfect time for you to start changing. If you already feel like you want change and you want to make a difference in yourself, in your career, in your life, whatever it is, you want to start making a change. The right time to start changing is now. Just start taking small steps, celebrating all of your little milestone, be proud of yourself, have positive affirmations every day. Um, read like motivational books. You can do meditations. There's great videos online. We have the internet, which is unlimited sources to all of us here that we can get access to. And so anything that you can find to kind of boost your level of confidence and motivation, find some source of aspirations and inspiration as well, to where you can start getting on your own 2 foot, feeling comfortable that you want to go ahead and find this source of space where you want to navigate and explore it into, and just start taking little small steps. Doesn't have to be big step, doesn't have to be a huge major change, but if you want to go ahead and start changing yourself, take little baby steps and celebrate every one of your wins. Be proud of your wins, be proud that you are worthy of success, and eventually your mindset's going to start shifting and you're going to be telling yourself, I can do this and I can go for this, and I can start seeing myself becoming more likable, more lively, more active. And that's just something that you kind of, boost your confidence in yourself. When you start having faith in yourself, loving yourself, taking care of yourself, that's something that will also boost your confidence. So it's not just something that makes you feel good, but it's also, of course, a source of motivation to keep you going. And I think that's the important confidence to me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with with everyone said. Like, confidence means, in so many different ways with everyone, right? And
Mhm.
so with me, like, with confidence, like, I don't know, there's so many ways, so many reasons behind what confidence is. But lately I was listening to one of Mel Robbins' podcasts, also similar to how what Tina did. But the one that I listened to, it just kind of opened up my eyes of what confidence was truly is all about, and is how she defined what confidence is. How confidence is not just about believing in yourself. It's confidence is the willingness to try. And when I was listening to that, I'm like, what does she mean by that? I had to listen to it in multiple times to really understand what does it mean, the willingness to try, like the willingness to take action, even if it's not perfect, even if your inner self is like, no, don't do it. But what if I did do it? It's gonna go good. It's gonna go bad. Either way, you don't know until you do it or you try it, right? And so, um, and also confidence is the skill that is built over time. So it made after listening to that podcast, I was just like, it made me like reflect on my past, like how I always thought that confidence was a feeling or like an action that naturally comes through, in everyone, when we're doing something. And so growing up in my young days, like middle school and high school, I've always have like admired those that kind of like took that leap of courage to take action, like to like kind of like stand up for themselves or to speak up or something. And I also was like having self-doubt of myself that I'm not worthy, but also like I was afraid. I didn't want to take that action because I'm scared of taking risks, right? But as over the years, and now I have kids, and I'm grown, then it's like you go through a lot of experiences, and then what is it? You kind of have to build that courage, build that confidence, and it it shapes you up, to who you are now today. And so if you're not willing to try, you will not move forward. And so, you may stay in the same spot and deal with the same problems. If you want to make a change, then you have to take that step, the next step, right? And so, yeah, so let's talk about what kind of tips, or how can we break free from self-doubt? Like, what can we give to others of how we can break free from that? Um, One of mine that I chose for myself is to, stop comparing my story to someone else's story. Oops, excuse for that loudness in the background. Like, stop comparing your story to someone else's story. Even if their path is like up to here and you're only down here, it's okay. Just own it. It's your life, it's their life. You don't have to compete with others. You have to compete with yourself, and show up for yourself. If you want to be successful, or if you want to have a change in your life. And yeah, we can start with Tina. Do you have any tips on how you break free from self doubt?
Um, this, I think this is one of the really good conversations that I love because I think as we are all mothers and aunties and grandmas, right, we have that ability to really influence our children. And I think there's a lot of programming that our parents, you know, instilled in us unknowingly, right? It's like, don't touch that or don't do that. And I think culture plays a lot into it too, especially as girls, as females. It's like, oh, you're supposed to act like this, you're supposed to do this, you're not supposed to, talk loud. And so there's a lot of this programming, which I think in a sense when we go outside and it's like, okay, well, someone is bullying you. Well, I'm not supposed to speak up because, so there's all this programming. And I think that our role as the moms in our children's life, the grandmas, the aunties, digital business owners in our professions, it's like we have to be that role model for our children and to really say it's okay. And I think a lot of it is modeling it, right? Like it feels so uncomfortable for me, but I don't want my children thinking that it's okay to be quiet or to not speak up, or if they really want to do it, they have to hold back because mom's not doing it. So a lot of that is just encouraging the kids to do it, building their self-esteem, like, oh, you're so smart. You are able to do that on your own. And so really, and as a teacher, I do a lot of that. So it's a lot of like, telling them, what they already know, but when they hear it, it's like, oh, it affirms it for them. And so I think, the first thing is always awareness. Like you have to see it and how it plays in your life and how it is really not your story. It is what your parents taught you. It is the programming, cultural, society, it's all of that, right? And really, really being able to say, okay, that is not me. Like, I want to do that and I'm going to do it because that's what I want. And so I think there's always that, lashback, if that's even the right word, where people may say, oh my gosh, like, why is she doing that? Why is she starting her business? Why is she, so there's going to be all of this because it doesn't follow that norm. And so I would say for those of, you know, for all of those who are watching, to really also look at how you are embracing your confidence, or if you're not, and how you are modeling that for your children. So I think the biggest thing is to really see it, notice it within yourself, and really teach your kids and model it so that they are aware that they don't have to be, they don't have to keep holding on to the self-doubt and to say, you know what, because sometimes I will do things kind of out of my norm as a mom. But that's just me saying, hey, you know what? I'm modeling to my kids. It's okay to have fun because other moms are sitting. It's like, well, I this is what I want to do. I'm gonna run and jump and play with my kids. And that's showing them like it's okay to do what I want and to feel okay about it. So, I mean, I could go on about it, but I will just leave it there so that you ladies can share too.
Well, I think one thing I want to share a little bit is from my own experience is that, when I joined this business, I didn't, I wasn't looking for a business, and so I jump in because I was hungry for a change, and so, and for, like Tina mentioned too, that, it comes from our parents too, that, the way they taught us, the way we see it as we've grown up. We, I know that, being a Hmong woman, we were not, we didn't have the courage to stand out for ourselves, or the, we feel like we're not worthy, or only the men that can do it, right? And to me, I feel like in my family, it's always told that, oh yeah, only the men can do this and do that. They can become the businessmen. Women cannot do it. Women only, they're born to be a housewife, and just, do their chore, and, you can go to work, but, you cannot do more. Your potential is not exceeding, And so when I joined this business, I feel that, I mean, yeah, there are a lot of things, a lot of negative things that it's on my mind. Like the fear that, what happened if I didn't succeed? What happened if I failed? Then, they're going to say, oh, see, that's why, women can't do it, But, I just want to let, our Hmong sisters or our Hmong wife out there know that, have confidence in yourself. You are worthy, and you are capable of doing more than what just being who you are right now. But, take that courage and start to do it. Just jump in and do it, because if you don't try that, the reason when I said I want to give a little example with myself is that I I wasn't born to be a businesswoman. Okay, I didn't know that I will become a successful business owner, but here I am. Because I was craving for a change, I jump in. I do whatever it takes, right? And plus, with the community that are there to lift me up, that's even better, because they, I get the support that I need and all that. And I have more confidence in myself that, hey, if this community can do it, why can I, right? I can do it too. I mean, I came from a zero background, no business background. I'm not a tech savvy, and I totally understand that learning something new, it's scary. And that's what holds a lot of people back, because they didn't want to try it. They're afraid. That fear, keep pulling the back and say, no, you can't do it. You're just going to ruin it. You're just going to mess up everything. You're not going to succeed. But yeah, I chose to trust my vision more than my fear. So remember that, trust your gut, okay? Whatever feeling that comes and want you to do it, just go ahead and give it a try. If you don't try, you wouldn't know. You might regret later on that, how come I didn't try? And even though if you fail, just do it again, right? I mean, we all, people all over, even successful people, they fail, but they never, let themselves down. They get up and try it again and again and again. So, don't give up on yourself. Just keep trying, keep doing it. And when you have the whole community like us here to, someone that's already done the business, we're here to help and support you. And so, yeah, just jump in and let us help you. That's all I can say today, that, don't hold back. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to add to that, even if you failed multiple times, it builds you stronger than you were yesterday. And also, that's what helps build your confidence. You know, it helps build your courage even more to get that confidence, to gain that confidence. Yeah, and so um, you know, you can't just think like, oh, I'm not gonna get it right, or no, it has to be perfect, or no, I'm just gonna fail. Like, don't automatically put yourself in that position. You have to see on the brighter side that I can do it. I will do my best, and even if it's not perfect how I planned it to be or wanted to be, uh, at the end, as long as I did it, and I won't regret it, right? Because if you don't do it, then you'll be like, oh, I should have did it, or you know, you're gonna have second doubts on yourself and be like, you know, questioning yourself, like, why did I do it, and all this stuff. But you know, that's why you just do it.
I just want to add that you guys made some really great points there. I want to remind our audience that we're not here to try to make you do anything you don't want to. We're not trying to persuade you to do anything. We're just simply here to just share knowledge and just share this amazing blessing. And like earlier, Tina mentioned that a lot of people reached out to her and said that they can't do what we do. Well, let me tell you a secret. You don't have to do what we do, okay? We are coming on because we are at a point in our life or our business where we want to share this amazing blessing because we know how amazing it is and how life transforming this business is. That's why we show up here. And we're not perfect, okay? Nobody's perfect. Well, some of you may think you're perfect, but maybe you are, and I don't know. But I know I'm not perfect. I know there's still room for growth and room for learning, right? So we're not experts either in this field, but we're just sharing simply what our knowledge and what we've learned along the way. And the best part is that we believed enough to begin. Okay, so that belief is what helped us grow and help us to become what we are or who we are today. So that's what we're trying to share here today. And like Lisa, you don't have to have it all figured out. You're never walk this journey alone if you choose not to, because our global community gives you all the resources and the support there. We can't run your business for you, but we can definitely help guide you and support you along the way. And I just want to say that, quite honestly, I know that you know deep down that you already know you are meant for more, but you just need to trust yourself enough to go after it. And that's the first step, right? The first step that's going to help you find your confidence and build your confidence so that you can embrace your confidence. And, you know, that beliefs is, again, I could say a lot more, but I will sound like I'm preaching. Well, all you have to do is just give yourself permission. You don't need to look for outside permission to embrace confidence, because you will never find confidence, and confidence will never find you. But once you start, you will find confidence, and that's because confidence will meet you halfway. And that's how you're going to find confidence, because if you don't find confidence, it will not try to meet you halfway, because even if it tried to meet you halfway, you're going the other direction. So that's what I wanted to add, that you need to start, so that whatever you want to do, right, even if it's not this business, whatever you want in that project, you need to start looking into it, or like do more research, do it, and do it so that you can find confidence halfway, because that is the amazing part of the journey, because you will find confidence halfway. Okay, so I just want to add that.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and add when Taya is saying as well, you know, validating yourself and giving yourself that validation, proving yourself that you are worthy. You know, that's a really, really big plus and a really big boost in understanding your self-confidence, giving yourself that a little bit of that boost to want to take the next step and move forward. I always say that, you know, a very good self-evaluation is needed when when it comes to self-doubting yourself, when you want to make change but you're stuck in a place where you're not too sure how to make change. I always say give yourself a very good self-evaluation. understand what your position is. If you're comfortable where you're at, that's okay. That's fully fine. But if you're someone who's just sitting there on the sideline and you're waiting for the perfect time, there is no perfect time. If you're sitting there and you're already self-doubting yourself, go back and give yourself a good self-reflection. Write a list of your goals of what you really want to pursue in life, maybe some habits that you might want to change. Research and learn your resources of what could boost your confidence, and take little baby steps, because once you start taking that and initiative steps to change yourself and motivate yourself to become a more proactive, or I guess you can say positive person with positive personalities and a positive mindset, you're going to start to build that confidence over time, and slowly but surely it's going to be there. And like when say have mentioned, confidence will always meet you halfway. So it's not about, making major changes. It's not about, you know, um, taking the easy steps or the shortcuts to it. There's going to be challenges, definitely a lot of challenges. You're probably even going to build more self-doubt along the way, because you might face a lot of difficulties facing these challenges. But that's what they are for, is to help you grow, help you learn, acknowledge yourself, be more accountable on certain things, and also help you improve in certain assets that you may had, the potentials that we already spoke about, the hidden potentials that you may have that you're too afraid to let people see, or too afraid to let it be shown, because you're nervous, you're shy, you're scared, or there's always people out there that talks, right? We're scared of people talking. We're scared of that validation, so we hold back. But Tina made a very great topic about letting go of that generation trauma. Letting go of generation trauma, because we weren't taught confidence from our parents, because they weren't taught from their parents. So let's break that generation trauma. Let's give each and everybody their individual validation, and let them grow and blossom into their very own individual person, and hold their very own aspirations. So, that's something that it's very important, is giving yourself a little bit of that validation yourself. The one person who should be giving you that permission is yourself. So I will say all of it start with a very good self-reflection, and then take little small steps from there.
Yes, yes, yes. And so, always remember to surround yourself with reminders of your why, whether, it's your kids, your goals, your dreams. Keep them in front of you, write them down, or even post them up on the wall. Let them feel you, so that way you will feel motivated to continue doing what you're doing each day, and having the courage to um, take the next step to do something new, for yourself. So, does anyone else have anything else to add before we end our live tonight?
I just want to say that today is Tuesday, so we do have a info workshop. If you want to learn more about the business, definitely register on the ladies' any of their website on here, and just check it out. It doesn't cost you a thing, but a little of your time to learn, see if this business is for you. And I just want to also say really quick, and before I give you back the floor, if you're not failing, you're not even trying at all. So if you're someone who's scared of scared of failing, and you haven't failed, then you haven't figured out, or you haven't learned how to do something different, a better way. So then fail, so that you can find that perfect, whatever success looks like for you. So I wanted to add that. So make sure you register or ask questions if you want to learn more. So thank you for having us here, Pena, and thank you for coming on, Yuli.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for having me here too.
Thank you. So yeah, as everyone, even ourselves, as we move forward, within our journey or your journey, whoever is watching, whether it's business, personal growth, or both, keep showing up, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself, because confidence is built and it's not born. We're not born with confidence. And every step that you take is proof that you're becoming stronger than you were yesterday. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you all have an amazing night. And we will see you guys in our next business talk. Bye. Don't forget to
Bye.